This is not an ad for Rockler, but the gentleman that I bought all this stuff for must have gone into Rockler and bought everything the guy suggested. And because he has, what I want to talk to you about today is this setup right here. I'll show you how well this holds up for a lidded box. All right, we're going to start this out real slow. All right, I'm going to get my shield on. This is a spindle roughing gouge, and this is directly out of the box, and I have not sharpened it. We're just going to see how she can do. I'm running at about 1,000 RPM. Take it nice and easy. I had a Nova Galaxy 1644, and I couldn't get this tight. All I did was put a extension on that fits right over the handle and put a little extension on it to tighten that baby in. Because what's happening is I'm tightening it up, and this is moving. I'm at 1,300. It's shaking just a little bit. She's there. Got a crack right there, so I'm going to put some CA glue in that right there. When you're going to put CA glue down, make sure you cover up your lathe so you don't get any of it on your bed. This is activator. Sets it up real quick. The actual outside of the lidded box is all done. So I'm going to sand this up so it's complete. Wherever possible, use your vacuum dust control. I'm trying to use the same tools, and this is the Rockler parting tool. And this is a 1/4 inch thick. So I need a 3/8 inch tenon on each end here. So we're going to do that next. I have not sharpened this. This is right out of the box. That is really good. I'm going to tell you right up front, that parting tool is nice. That's a nice little piece. I'm just going to put a dovetail. I'm going to put a dovetail on my tenon. That's it. That is the 1/4 inch parting tool and their 3/4 inch skew. Wonderful. Very sharp out of the box. Very happy with that. Okay, I want a 3/4 inch top. I'm going to mark that off. And then I'm looking for a 2 inch bottom. So I'm going to make a tenon here first. And now I'm going to take my top out. And I have to widen it out. This is an 1/8 inch thick. And I've got a little under a 1/4 there. So I'm going to drive this through. I may be able to just break that. There we go. The center is going to be cleaned out, so we don't have to worry about it. This is the Nova chuck. It goes with this lathe. She's not as smooth as it was. This is a Nova chuck, and it does not have a dovetail. Alrighty, what I've done is I took the current jaws off, and I put my jaws on. I already planned for a dovetail. We just changed the jaws out. Let's see if that doesn't help. There it is. Now she's flat up against the wood. When I turn it on now, she should spin smoothly. There it is. That's much better. So now I got to clean up the inside of this tenon because it's out around on the inside because I just fixed it. Not a big deal. We can do that. Creep up on it. So now I just got to empty out the inside. I got to clear the inside. I'm going to try clearing some of this end grain with my spindle gouge. This is, again, another piece from that Rockler set. All right, now I'm going to try the 1/2 inch spindle gouge. This was not in the set. They bought it separately, but it came with the lathe. And this is the last piece. This is a carbide tip. And that's about a 3/4 by 3/4 carbide tip. Now, I've got the sides down, so I should be able to take this and run right straight down through the side. I do have a split right there, so we don't want this thing to come apart on us. 1 3/4, I got 2 1/8. I got 3/8 of an inch on the bottom. That is deep enough. And I got a crack right across the bottom here, so I'm going to put some super glue on that. Now we're going to the top. So let's sand this up before I go any further, though. It's just me. I'm going to round that edge right there, because that is a very sharp edge. I'm using my 3/8 spindle gouge. Now we have to make the bottom fit the top. So I know what my outside edge is, so I need to start a little wider than that. I want my parting tool. We're going to start wide. It's called sneaking up. I'm going to sneak up on it. I am not that far off. The problem is, it seems like every time I do this, you're going, and then all of a sudden you've gone too far. So we're going to just go real slow. I'm going to take off. When you take a 16th off on one side, you've taken an 1/8 off. So we're going to go with 30 seconds of an inch. There it is. Question in, am I deep enough? I could go a little deeper because there's a gap. So we're going to go a little deeper on her. There it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the bottom here onto this to hold it there, and I'm going to sand this so that this is smooth and they blend right in. All I got to do is clean up the top here, and I'm going to use the scraper to just clean this up just a little bit, just so that the nub in the bottom blends in. First thing we're going to do is we're going to finish the top. We got to take the tenon off. I am switching tailstock live centers. And the reason for it is this one doesn't allow me to get my tool in tight enough. This one I can get in almost so there's just a little bit left over. Big difference. I took the other tenon off with that one, but this is just, you can see the clearance that you have to get in there. It just, so you end up just leaving a smaller piece. I think I'm going to put some super glue in some of these cracks here first though, and then we'll sand it. This is the lidded box. We're just going to buff this up real quick and put some wax on it. Oh. This is the Beals buffing system. Really love it. I love how that turned out. My goal was to do 3 different items on this 1221 variable speed jet lathe. I wanted to show you and for me to find out what it could do, what it was capable of doing. This is a 9.5 inch bowl. It's 3.5 inches deep, and it is, with the chuck on, as big as it can go without hitting this housing. So I would say that's your max, all right? But beautiful, beautiful bowl. So you don't have to be afraid to get in there and try something that size. And this is the lidded box, which I think turned out quite nicely. And all this was done on here, and with all the tools that are in this package that I purchased, all right? But this is just wonderful stuff. Anyways, that, and here's the pen in which I did. I'll bring that closer. This is the pen, and this is all done on this lathe. This is mahogany, this is live oak, and this is black walnut. If you bought everything brand new, we're talking $1,664.95. I got all this for a very good price. It's somebody who's wanting to start turning, because this whole set will get you off and running. The only thing you are going to need on top of this is some kind of sharpening system and a vacuum system. But this will get you up and running. You can have a lot of fun. It's a great hobby, so you'll have fun.